is this place? And what are we doing here?
This was my home. The slavers came, destroyed everything.
We better move. They're coming.
Enslaved is our next project after Heavenly Sword. It's based on one of my favorite TV series as a child, which is Monkey, which I found out was a 400-year-old Chinese novel, so we've taken that, adapted it. It's been adapted many times. Dragon Ball was from it. Damon Albarn and Jamie Hewlett did an opera based on it. So we took our own take, which is to set it in the post-apocalyptic future, replace the magic with technology, the demons with robots, and do a kind of a road movie across the United States involving these two characters, Monkey and the sexy Tripitaka. It's set 150 years from now, and there's been several, volcanoes, financial crisis, all that kind of stuff, swine flu, things that's wiped out most of the population, disease, warfare. And what's left behind are these mechs they're like landmines today. They're from wars long fought, and people that stumbled across them, they activate and they kill you. So there's very few people left in the world, and to make matters worse, these slave ships come over from the west, they scout the land, they capture anyone that they find alive, and they slap on these headbands onto them, which are mind control devices. Basically, they cause pain if you don't do as they say, and they take you out west and you never come back. So the game actually starts with Monkey and Trip on a slave ship. They don't know each other, but Monkey's a violent brute, and he just gets out through sheer bloody-mindedness. Trip gets out because she's from a community that scavenges and hacks old technology and reprograms them. So she just gets out of it through her smarts. Both of them cause the slave ship to crash, and they crash into New York. She grabs one of these slave headbands, sticks it on his head when he's unconscious, and reprograms it, and says, basically, you have to do as I say. And she's not doing it because she hates him or because she's evil. She does it because she can't survive in this landscape on her own. She needs a bodyguard. I think, broadly speaking, there's like a third of the game is combat, a third is a traversal with Trip, and a third of it is puzzles. And in some situations it's like pure action, in some situations it's a tactical situation where there are multiple ways to take out these enemies. Because these enemies, they're like landmines, they're inactive until you activate them. When you come to a typical scene, Trip will send out this dragonfly. It's basically a flying robotic CCTV camera. It scans the area and it marks out the enemies, it marks out any weaknesses in those enemies, and then you get to see that through your headband. And from that you can decide then whether you want to just steam in there fighting, all guns blazing, and probably get shot to death or beaten to death, because it's not an easy game when you're up against 3 or 4 enemies. Or you can try and find another route round, take out the guy with a weakness first, which might be to be able to rip off his arm, which is a machine gun arm, rip that off, rip his head off, rip his arm off, and then use that to gun down, mow down the other ones. And now you've found a smarter way to deal with the enemies. And that's why we say it's tactical, because you and Trip work together to defeat enemies.
So obviously the recruitment of Alex Garland on the script and the kind of drama direction was obviously a huge coup. I mean, did you already have the kind of skeleton of the story when you approached him about it, and did he then help shape it, or was he kind of in there from the inception?
No, we had a rough we had the characters and a rough story and the rough locations, but like, we're game developers and we're not ashamed of being game developers. We look for talent in everywhere we can find. Well, if you look at a lot of Alex Garland's stories and scripts, they cover some pretty dark themes about characters in difficult situations, and they do get... I mean, Alex is one of the smartest men I've met, like full stop, and he's a bit of a... I think he is an intellectual, and he does want to add meaning and depth to his stories, and you won't get a typical Hollywood ending in this game. It'll be something with a pretty unique take.